the uncle selling the chicken rice recognized me, and he just shouted, he said, "I'm not going to sell to you because you defended that couple. You are just as beastly as them." And everybody around me was like, give you the kind of look. Yeah, he's the guy. My name is Josephus Tan. I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and I'm also the founder and managing partner of Invictus Law Corporation. I think at a very young age, I realized how powerful, or some say how perverse the law can be. So it can either be used for very good things or very bad things. And I think also given my own personal background, and I came from quite a rough and a tough neighborhood, and somewhat underprivileged as well. So I grew up seeing a lot of bad things around me, and I thought law was really the perfect choice for me to understand how the law works and how I can use the law to help people around me. It was really very idealistic, and until today it rings true for me. Coming close to 20 years, there's a certain madness behind this. It's because I really believe in it, in giving the underprivileged class a voice. I still remember my first pro bono case, in fact the first case of my life. So long and short of it, this accused person suffers from mental disorders. And then he was hallucinating that the uncle was doing something funny to him. And I still remember that visit at prison, that first visit. When I looked at him, right, he was just looking at me and he was drooling. I was like, okay, hey dude, I'm your lawyer. I'm here to represent your case for free, pro bono. Then he just nodded. He's like, okay. Ultimately, in court during the sentencing itself, we got an appropriate sentence. So he was due to be released a few days later. So it was supposed to be a very joyous occasion. And I still remember the family members, they were in court. I think it's only human to expect something. The family members will come out and give you a hug, or maybe to thank you, right? But when I turned around, they saw me, they quickly just exited through the door, I was like, huh? So you mean this is what pro bono case is all about? So I thought it was a bit unfulfilling, to say the least. And I thought, wow, okay, maybe the first and the last, enough with pro bono cases because you are just defending a bunch of ingrates, A few months later, it was near Christmas. One day I walked into office, and there on my table I saw a hamper. And I saw a card on the hamper. I opened up the card. Actually, moved me a lot. It was actually by the family. Thank you, Mr. Tan, for helping our brother. Sorry we didn't have a chance to say thank you. And it took us a while because we didn't have the money to pay you. We were embarrassed, and that's the reason why we never say thank you in the courtroom that day. It prompted me to pick up the phone to call the sister. And what she said over the phone, I think that really changed my perspective about pro bono forever. Even though we have nothing to give you, you have given us everything. Then tears flowed down my face. Because at that moment, I felt very ashamed of myself. If you ever want to do anything kind, do not expect anything in return. Do it from the bottom of your heart. Initially, when I got the backlash from the public for some of the high-profile and controversial cases which I handled, of course, you get jaded. Some of these cases are so hard on the facts that even the closest people to you, they will start to question. They'll say, why? Why would you defend such a person? So heinous, The initial years, I felt misunderstood and I felt discouraged. So far, I think I've experienced quite a number of it, from the Orchard Tower case to the Annie East case, and now the latest, the Megan's case. And you just tell yourself it's just another day at work. Don't let it affect your emotions. I mean, easier said than done now. Of course, behind closed doors, I still feel some emotions, Of course, I have my moments where I cry about it, I pray about it. But I think to the outside world, we have to put up a front. This is really just another day because we are professionals. Somebody has to do the job to make sure that the due process is observed. So I still remember after I did the Annie East case, there was a national uproar, right? I went to a hawker center to buy a packet of chicken rice. The uncle selling the chicken rice recognized me, and he just shouted, he said, "I'm not going to sell to you because you defended that couple. You are just as beastly as them." And everybody around me was like, give you the kind of look. Yeah, he's the guy. At that moment, you felt a little bit embarrassed, but also a little bit shocked. Wow, you didn't expect the reaction to be so bad. When things quiet down, and I thought to myself, they are not wrong at all to feel angry. I would want them to feel this way. It shows that they do not accept such behaviors. Imagine, conversely, a case like that happen, and nobody talks about it. That will be a very sad day in Singapore. Our society is no longer feeling what is supposed to be righteous. You just have to muster enough courage and patience to explain to people. Tell them why you have to do this, because ultimately, no matter how bad the facts are, how heinous the offender, like what Mr. Subhas Anandan said, everybody deserves their day in court. We defend our clients legally, but that doesn't mean we stand with them morally. These are two different things. The cases which I handled, which actually created a lot of emotions in me, I think one came to mind would be the animal abuse cases, you know. I love animals. This person actually threw a cat off like 13th floor. The cat followed the man home. The man didn't want the cat to follow him, and he just took the cat by the tail and just flung it off the building. It sounds really cruel, right? And very senseless. There are actually two sides to a coin. Although he's a 40-over-year-old man, but he has an IQ of a 10-year-old boy. Parents actually have to padlock the house, because if he wanders off, he might not be able to get back home. So on one hand, I was very angry about the fact that it was a very senseless killing of a cat, of an innocent animal. But on the other hand, I'm looking at this person who is born this way. I was having a personal tussle, but of course, ultimately, the better side prevailed. Ultimately, I'm a professional. I'm there to render my professional help. No judgment.
Have you ever seen a case and gone like, okay, maybe I don't want to take this?
There have been some cases, the accused person was drunk and he actually raped his own mother. So I went for the consultation. So I was actually quite shocked. You know, it was very hard to stomach. There was also another case of a man who killed the girlfriend. He was suffering from a mental disorder and he thought that the girlfriend was possessed by the demon. And I think he went on to dig out her eyeballs, and cut off certain parts of her body. I'm just like anybody else, It shocked me quite a bit. It took me a while to adjust to it. But if you ask me now that I'm a lawyer for coming to 20 years, no. I wouldn't reject anyone, no matter how bad it seemed to be. I've seen the worst of humanity. I've seen how evil a person can be to another person, or even to their loved ones. I still believe in the natural goodness of humans. Nobody is truly born evil. So it's always due to their circumstances. As the saying, I always believe in, hurt people. And I hope to continue to be that voice for them.